Hey, idiot kid. Cut the lawn yesterday. Just sort of missed this part, I guess. Anyway, Alex Jones. Alex motherfucking Jones. I'm one of the few people I know, conspiracy world, that can say he's never pushed Alex Jones. That can say, you know, I literally always thought he was a shill. I always called him out. I thought he was a racist. He was a fearmongerer, a warmongerer, and a company man. I'll go likes Alex Jones. You see Alex Jones crying the other day? He's tearing me apart. You see that bullshit? I can't put my head, my he looks like Ox Baker. That's what he looks like with his new head shaved. I mean, you know that Bill Hicks and Alex Jones existed at the same time, right? But talk about pointless distractions, right? No, he was literally crying. Did you see that he was literally crying? And he just put out a thing saying, you know, all of you people who have been harping on me about Israel and all that, even though I've always talked about it. I've always talked about the USS Liberty, and I always talked about Larry Silverstein. But all those people harping on me, I guess you can kind of say you guys were right. Israel, he has defended Israel and defended and fought against criticism of Israel the whole time. You know, I always show you guys the same video, and I'll show you again since it's super quick anyway. And I know there's context and all that, but don't really care. You'll never see this one.
The Jews, Mr. Jones, have inflicted tremendous harm upon the United States.
Well, let me ask you a question from your perspective. Should the Jews be gotten rid of?
Yes, they should.
And he stops them again.
I'm going to stop you right there. I am Jewish.
There you go. He was crying over Trump. He's crying over Trump. I mean, this is where I just don't understand. Why does Alex Jones still get a pass? He was one of Trump's biggest advocates. He's one of the main reasons why Trump got elected the first time. I didn't see him as much in the second election, but I wasn't really looking at it. But he's the reason Trump got elected the first time. One of the reasons in the alternative community. He was one of Trump's biggest supporters. And all of this shit, it's not like this shit is new. And you have to think like people like me, people like Algo, knew about what Trump was doing all those years ago. You know, knew about the Israel support all those years ago. Fuck Israel. Right? Fuck everything Israel. Fuck them. They need to be removed completely. That cancer needs to be removed before it can continue to spread. But shouldn't Alex Jones be, you know, basically terminated over all this? Lose all of his credibility? Be exposed as the shill that he is? Now? Like, what does it take? I always wonder what it takes with you people. What does it take to get you to actually see the truth? It's not AIPAC. It's not the ADL. You know, it's not all of the historical shit. It's not Epstein. It's not Maxwell. You know, it's not any of that stuff. So what's it going to take? How do you bypass the people's chosen stupidity? No one made you do it. You know, no one made you support Israel. No one made you support Alex Jones. No, no one made you support Trump. You chose to. So why doesn't Trump, or why doesn't Alex Jones just get completely vilified over all of this? Seriously. I mean, there's just so much going on right now. It's really hard to even keep track of it all. Because it's all so, it's all so obvious. And it's all so easily connected. All those pieces are just easily connected one after another. I shouldn't be able to make a good argument about it. Right? I'm just some dumbass. I'm just some dumb goyim in Michigan who yells at the clouds and talks to no one. And you know, why is it I think, given like the opportunity to present a case in court, I think I could easily make a reasonable case in court to sever connections, to investigate, to, you know, to expose all of that. I could do it. So why can't this system that has unlimited finances, unlimited people, and I mean, it's really just insane at this point. It really is just insane. Like, where why there's any support whatsoever. It's just mind-numbing. Like, how does anyone not see it? Everybody, every American, everyone should be up in arms right now about what's going on. You know, all this Epstein shit. I mean, you know, I said it from the beginning with Epstein. The only reason we know about Epstein is because they want us to know about Epstein. That's it. We would have never known about Epstein had the system not wanted us to know about it. You know, there are so many just horrible stories that exist of so many different famous people and whatnot that you have to like dig to be able to find because they get covered up. And really, the first Epstein narrative was covered up pretty well. The 2008, 2009 shit. I mean, at the end of the day, look at we have the Israeli trolls already here on the page. Ask yourself, who is like these trolls are here because I'm a truther. Oh, I'm a truther, and I'm talking bad about another truther. Shouldn't they be supportive of that? Why don't they want me talking about Alex Jones? Why don't they want me reading about AIPAC? Right? Why don't they want me talking about any of this stuff? Who in their right fucking mind? It's 8:30 in the morning, and you have all of these people who are working for sure, these random profiles that are up and ready to attack someone that thinks we should stop genocide, stop pedophilia? Like, how does that even make sense? The only way the interference that I get makes sense is when you look at Team Jorge. Act.il. And these are just individual groups, individual things. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Team Jorges out there. I don't see, and you know it's just Israeli bot bullshit because they don't make any reasonable arguments. They won't tell you why they're here to begin with. What motivates you to be here to begin with? Do you always look for people who think we should kill pedophiles and stop the J slavery of the rest of us? Do you always look for those people and try your best to interfere with their feeds? Is that really your thing? I mean, it's just the evidence is endless. It's obvious and it's endless. I just don't understand what is holding us back from full-on revolt, from full-on acknowledgement of what's happening. And the thing is, I can't, you know, there will be the random commenter on here who says dumb shit, you know, twerk for truth, blah, 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 like shit like that. But there's nobody that ever comes in here and makes arguments to the contrary. Literally nobody. I can't think of a time when somebody came in here and tried to actually explain any of it. The closest you'll get is it's the Holy Land or some shit like that. But that just opens up another conversation that people don't seem to want to have. What's up, Tim? That opens up you know, where did your Bible come from? Who gave it to you? Do you even know what it says? Do you even know the narratives that are in it, or do you just like have this very, very cursory knowledge, enough to know what you need to know to make sure you get everlasting salvation in heaven because, you know, yeah, well, you didn't follow any of the rules, but there's a loophole. Like, it's strange. I watched Jake Shields a lot. I think Jake Shields is great, and Jake Shields was just on Alex Jones. But there are plenty of times when Jake Shields talks about God, Jesus, and stuff like that, and it's like, dude, how do you not understand? They gave you the Bible. Morning from good old Germany. Germany should be, if anyone should be like vocal about all of this, it should be the Germans. What's been done to Germany since before World War I? Like, Germany has been this source of both the bad guys and the resistance, the narrative, since the 1880s, right? Like, where are the German people in all of this? You don't really see too much coming out of Germany. And they've been victimized just forever, you know. They should be the most vocal, furious ones about all of it. Belch. Yeah. What are you talking about? You're a pedo. You should be very happy in Germany if the laws are so lax. But the reality is, I'm not talking about like the government of any place, because the governments are all controlled. There is a one world government. There has been forever. You know, one of the things that you see Alex Jones constantly talking about, or even Jake Shields, is that they're trying to take over the US government. Like, what are you talking about trying to? Zhao, yeah. You want me to hate you. You don't, well, I mean, I guess, yeah, if you're a pedo, I hate you. But, you know, I'm just stating facts. I'm just going off of what you said. Are you invested in crypto? The government is going to implement it soon. They can't. See, this is one of those arguments that people always make, these distraction arguments. Right? When you talk about they're going to make all the money digital soon, they can't. What you don't get is that the most, like the vast majority of the money that's spent is spent by them, the richest and most powerful people. And they like doing a lot of their deals on the board, you know? It has to be done. They don't want taxes included. They don't want paper trails of any of it. They don't even want like a physical evidence of the transfer of, let's say, art or, you know, artifacts or whatever. They deal in that shit all the time. And especially in the pedo world, where they're buying and selling of people. And that can't have a crypto paper trail. They need cash to be able to do that kind of shit. But the father who goes and gets back for his kids gets life without parole. It's sick. Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. You know, I've said for a long time now, the solution to pedophilia, when I win the presidency in 2028, obviously we're going to outlaw the cult, the J-ism cult. But when it comes to the pedos, I think we should implement a system where we acknowledge the fact that there are really sick motherfuckers that live in our society. There are sick fucking people out there who really do enjoy violating other people. Raping, torturing, killing, all that shit. They really, there are lots of people out there like that. That's why the horror industry is so huge. Now, granted, there are different levels to it. Some people just like a good scare and like to, you know, go into that space, I guess. But there are way more people than you realize out there who are deviant, sexual deviants, and who want to do really horrible shit. So why don't we start some sort of program where if you're, you know, you acknowledge that that's who you are. You're one of those people who has those tendencies, those thoughts in your head. You belong to the program, and as long as you don't, you know, do it in real life, you don't take some innocent child or something along those lines. When a person does do that kind of shit, when a person's involved in rape, when a person's involved in kidnapping and child molestation and all that, instead of putting them in a each person gets signed up for the group, you get, you know, you get a person that you can do what you with, no questions asked. You know, every person, and once we go through the list, you get a person. Huh?
You have,
I think if we do that, and we give those people a proper punishment, because right now you get caught raping or So, a child, you get put in the special wing of the prison. You're not put in Gen Pop. You're put in a special protected place, and you get like a little slap on the wrist sentence, 18 months, 2 years, 5, whatever it is. But it's clearly not enough of a deterrent that it stops people. And you have to understand that most of the people that violate children are fucking cowards. They're horrible, horrible cowards. They're not tough guys. They're not, there are going to be some for sure, but for the most part, these are just the weaseliest cowards in the world. And if they knew there was real sort of punishments for it and consequences, they'd be much less likely to do it. And the thought of being given to somebody who does what you do and who's allowed to do to you whatever they want, that's a hell of a lot scarier than a slap on the wrist jail sentence. Not to mention, that encourages people to not just do it out in real life. It feeds two birds with one seed, if you will. And I don't know what else we can, obviously the what we do currently doesn't work, so we need to adjust it somehow. So if you can tell me how that's a bad plan, I'd love to hear it. But let's give the pedos to the psychopaths in this world. And if they want to fucking keep you tied down and insert hot things in your ass and pull out your fingernails and, do all that kind of, let them. You raped a child. You have no, you're less than nothing. You should be killed. You definitely shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to pay for you. I shouldn't have to pay money to keep you in a prison, my tax dollars and shit. But why, well, I know why it doesn't happen, but that's another program I'm going to implement when I'm president. How can we reduce crime? And I believe that's a great way to reduce crime. I don't think there is, a whole bunch of options for someone like that. I have no sympathy. I have no care. Like, I hope that the person that gets you doesn't just kill you right away. I hope you get, viciously, violently, horribly tortured. And I'd love to know who disagrees with me on that. Come on, bold motherfuckers. Tell me why I'm wrong about that one. It's not like you tell me I'm wrong about anything. You just tell me I am wrong. Interesting how it works. I wonder what Alex Jones's Wikipedia says. Let's find out if Alex Jones has an interesting background on here. Let's see if we can, if he has a page that can or can't be edited. Oh, go figure. The Alex Jones page cannot be edited. before we go any further, obviously, we have to do a little bit of proving here. We have to provide just a little bit of context, because there's always going to be stupid people out there that cry when I share this video, or when I start using Wikipedia, because you'll say, Wikipedia is not a good source. Anyone can edit Wikipedia. Well, I just showed you that that page can't be edited. So then it makes you say, well, who edited it to begin with if it can't be edited? Well, what if I told you a prime minister in Israel admitted to doing it? Admitted that Israel controls Wikipedia. They teach the editors how to edit Wikipedia so that it puts Israel in the best light. I think a lot of you would cry, that's not true. That's not true. But let's just look. See, why do you lie for fun? See, I'm lying, right? I love how that's the best they can do, right? So here you have IsraelNationalNews.com.
In conjunction with My Israel, has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to learn more about how...
Okay, so there you go. Look at this crybaby talking about, he can ban me. Why would I ban you? You make me look good. Until you start using pedo stuff, pedo code, pedo flags, whatnot. Why you don't provide any sort of opposition or anything? If anything, you prove my point. Because anybody should be asking, like, why would this dumbass be here in the first place? What would be his motivation? 12 years ago, 4 subscribers. What would be his motivation to find my feed 9 in the morning? He's been here before, spent hours on my page before begging for attention. What's the motivation? Is he Alex Jones's brother or something, and he's mad that I'm talking about him? Is he like when you understand that my whole perspective, my whole goal is to kill pedos and eliminate the J control scheme, the genocide? What then is the motivation of the person that comes in opposition? I mean, it's just, to me, it's obvious, right? To me, it's super obvious what's going on. But I'm wrong and I'm crazy. Even though they won't give you a better explanation, you can flat out ask them, what is the motivation for being here? They're not going to give you anything. So, the real people that are here, I challenge you. Ask yourself what it is. What motivates someone out of all the hundreds, thousands, and thousands of YouTube options they have alone? Just YouTube. They could be on multiple different platforms, Facebooks and Hulus and all these other things that they could be doing. They could be watching DVDs. They could be watching porn. They could be, learning how to do something. They could be watching just a regular TV show, cable, pay-per-view. They could be sleeping. They could be gardening. They could be doing anything else in the world, playing video games, playing anything. But instead, they're here trying to stop the conversation that's going on. And so I just showed you the video of Naftali Bennett, who is the former Israeli prime minister at this point, but at the time in 2010 was a future Israeli prime minister. And he's flat out acknowledging that they control Israel. that they control Wikipedia. In 2010, this was just one, I would assume, of many instruction days that he called it an instruction day, where they, quote, taught the Wikipedia editors how to edit the narrative so that it has a balanced and Zionist perspective. Literally, I don't know what else I can show, like what better evidence there is to, for what I'm saying, at least in this regard. And the thing is, that any counter argument, I'd love to hear a counter argument. I'd love for you to show me a video of somebody else claiming to control Wikipedia. Show me the video where Russia is bragging that they control Wikipedia, or China. And it's not even like they're bragging, just from some weird room or something. No, they're at the Israel came to the Wikipedia headquarters to have this instruction day. I mean, just think about how insane that is. Somebody else comes to your company to tell you how to run it. And to tell you how to have like a completely biased perspective in one way or another. That would just, nobody would accept that. Nobody would think that's okay. What?
Except with the medical community, then they're willing to say, okay, everybody's got COVID no matter what they come in with.
Yeah. that's definitely a fact.
That's the only other example I can think of.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. I was like, what is she talking about?
They all sat back and took it.
I mean, well, they didn't. Not the people at the top, not the people telling us to take it. They didn't take the shots. They just told us to take it.
All the doctors that put on death certificates that people died of COVID when they died of a heart attack.
But it would be more like them telling you that COVID's a fake, but you should take this anyway. That's actually would be a more accurate, because again, this is Israel telling the world that they control the perspective, that Israel controls the perspective that you get when you look things up. And again, people always say, oh, anybody can edit Wikipedia. Show me the video of the powerful person that's saying, well, everybody here, let me show you, this is, it's not even really an argument, right? The only people that would argue the significance of this clip are fucking bots in act.il type people. No reasonable, decent, thoughtful human that, non-Israeli, non-J human sees a video like this and goes, yeah, what the hell, that doesn't matter. Yeah, so they have an instruction day, so we have a balanced Zionist perspective. Like that says everything. And anybody that would even attempt to argue that, they're not going to actually argue it. They're just going to it'll be a shit talk, but there won't be any argument made, because how can you? What could you possibly say? Oh, he's kidding. He's kidding. They don't really control it. He's just kidding because he thought it was funny. This was April Fool's Day. So they just thought that they would joke with us. So that leads me to back to where I was, which is Wikipedia and the Alex Jones perspective of Wikipedia, which again is completely locked. So there is no, anybody can edit Wikipedia. So let's see what they have to say. Alexander Emmerich Jones, born February 11th, 1974, is a far-right radio show host and prominent conspiracy theorist. He hosts the Alex Jones Show from Austin, Texas. Which again, if he was actually doing something, the network on which he's broadcast on, which is inevitably owned by AIPAC members and, you know, Jays, they wouldn't let him exist. He wouldn't be allowed to be. It's not like he has his own fucking, you know, internet service that he provides. Nobody ever talks about that, but Alex Jones wouldn't be this. How did he get so rich? Oh, selling prep packs? Selling prepper packs? No. He's been allowed to do what he's been doing. It's been his job to do what he's been doing. He is the you know, he's the definition of controlled opposition. And when he was in court, his lawyer even said that's not really who he is. Alex Jones is just a character. He's a racist, you know, he's a douchebag. Alex Jones Show is the longest running online news and politics talk show. It was previously broadcast. I mean, that's just it. It's the longest running online talk show. It was previously broadcast by the Genesis Communications Network across the United States via syndicated and internet radio. He is the founder of InfoWars and Band.video websites that promote conspiracy theories and fake news. Among many other conspiracy theories, Jones has alleged that the United States government either concealed information about or outright falsified the Handy Sook elementary school shooting, which it's not even like, it's just another one of those things where it's like, okay, what Alex Jones says about that resonates with a lot of people because we saw it, because there's evidence to back up what he says. There's a whole bunch of crazy, weird shit that happened that day that just don't make no sense. Like the people being on a loop. The people walking out of the bottom of the building and walking around and then going back in through the top. Like the lack of ambulances and response and all that. Like the military men, the three men in fatigues, that this was on live news. I was watching it when it happened. That suddenly they realized there was some men in fatigues in the woods and the police chased after them and caught them. They ran from the scene. Turned out to be military men. The Oklahoma City bombing, again, the Oklahoma City bombing was the largest terrorist attack on U.S. soil prior to 9/11, at least according to the narrative. And to this day is still considered the largest domestic terrorist attack in U.S. history. And it's most of you don't even know what day it took place. There's no, there's no memorial or anything regarding that. There's no day of remembrance. There's no, it's April 19th, 1995. We just went past the 30-year anniversary. There was no big memorial. There was no big honoring of the victims lost in that whole thing. Because they don't even want you to talk about it, to think about it. Because literally it takes, 5 seconds before you go, hey, this doesn't sound right. You're telling me we were looking for John Doe number 2 for like months, and then suddenly Reno comes out and says, oh yeah, there is no John Doe number 2. And then that's just it? What about all the people that saw him? What about the fact that the what's the gun one? The DEA, the people that worked in the DEA in that building got pages, a message sent to their pager each morning telling them telling them not to come to work. None of the DEA members that worked in that building were killed because they all got a heads up not to come to work that day. I mean, it's, and just like Handy Sook, it's like, all you have to do is, have someone like Alex come on, present all of his arguments, and then debunk them. And that way you end up wiping out the entire community. You have this video, this documentary, this whatever that you can point to that anytime somebody brings it up, you go, oh, no, we handled that. Here, look. And all your questions will be answered. That never exists. That doesn't exist for Oklahoma City. That does and the thing is, there's a video, an amazing video called We Need to Talk About Handy Sook. And it's one of these things that if the narrative that the conspiracy theorists have is fake, why are they able to make such a compelling video, such a compelling argument? Like there's a movie called Route 91. Route 51? I don't remember actually what it's called, but it's about the Las Vegas shooting. And it was made by Mindy Robinson. And basically there's a website that was created that had a map of Vegas, and it had different icons, a telephone, a video camera, a radio call, something like that. Each icon represented one of those things. And the icons are spread all over that map. And it's showing you how, if you click on the icon, it shows you the footage from, that moment at that spot. It shows you, it plays the 911 call that was made from that spot, and it just breaks down like that. The narrative we're given regarding the Vegas shooting is completely false. And it doesn't even begin to go into, the shooter and all of that crazy shit, how he got in there, where the footage is of him, all that. It doesn't even, why they weren't able to breach, why the shooting took so long. I don't know if you've ever been in Vegas, but if you light a cigarette in a room that you're not supposed to be able to smoke in, they'll be knocking on your door in 5 minutes. Vegas does not fuck around when it comes to anything. So the idea that this guy was able to go on this fucking shooting rampage with no interference it just doesn't exist. But if if the narrative was real, they wouldn't be able to, those type of videos wouldn't be able to be made. If the 9/11 narrative was real, then movies like Loose Change, series like what Dr. Judy Wood put out, the Where Did the Towers Go? Just all the fucking 9/11 movies, they wouldn't be able to be made. And even if they were, they wouldn't be better and more truthful and more telling than sorry, I'm got a little confused for a minute. They wouldn't be able to provide a better movie than what the system provides us. I remember on the when they like the 10-year anniversary or whatever, maybe the 5-year anniversary, maybe it's 2006. When they finally, they put out the official 9/11 narrative, and it was PBS put it out. It was broadcast on TV. Everybody watched it. And the simulation that they showed us to explain the pancake theory on TV, it showed the pancake theory, but the center column was still there. Even the narrative they give us with their best, like, it doesn't hold up. It doesn't, out explain 9/11 or loose change or whatever. So why is it that the official narrative can't outdo some dude in his fucking basement? How can some random nobody make a video that's more compelling than what the government can make, and the government is telling the truth? Like, that's just shocking, right? The September 11th attack and the 1969 moon landing. I mean, it's all just bullshit. If you think we went to the moon in 1969 and it's 2025, and not only can we not go back, like, not only is it not like a commercial fucking tourist destination at this point, we can't even go back. We can't even get out of low Earth orbit anymore. When we do, when Richard Branson flies in low Earth orbit for what would have had to have been the zillionth time, it's a worldwide news story that, oh, look, we were able to achieve low Earth orbit. Like, of course we have. We've been able to do that forever. He has also claimed that several governments and large businesses have colluded to create a globalist new world order through, quote, manufactured economic crisis, sophisticated surveillance tech, and all above inside job terror attacks that fuel exploitable hysteria. I mean, he is exactly what they want. Whenever you see like NCIS, what's the one, Hawaii 5-0. Hawaii 5-0 actually has the resident conspiracy theorist. And of course, he's the fat guy that's gross, that lives with his mom in the basement. And like, they always try to make it seem like anybody that's asking questions is just some crazy guy. Have you seen the pictures of Jupiter? Yeah, so it's funny. The other day on Facebook, some guy posts a video where he says, look, I'm using a super high powered telescope with a filter on it. And he's looking at the sun. And he's showing the edge of the sun, and it's this rippling fire. And at some point, and it's a clear CGI animation, right? But I said, so what I'm supposed to believe is that we are moving at 67,000 miles per hour around the sun while spinning at 1,000 miles per hour ourselves. And that on this ball that's double moving, you are able to focus your telescope camera thing 93 million miles away. 93 million miles away. And get this really, detailed picture. It's not like it's having a hard time focusing or anything like that. Nope, he's got a perfect view of it. Like, if you believe that, you're just super stupid. I don't know why anybody would. morning. Jones has provided a platform for white nationalists and neo-Nazis on his website, band.video, as well as providing an entry point for their ideology. Oh, the white nationalists, the neo-Nazis. In 2023, leaked text from Jones's phone revealed that he created the website National File to evade social media bans on InfoWars content. How dare he? How dare he go to any sort of lengths to get around the censorship? How dare he? Like, you don't understand. There's a reason why they provide us this character like this. It's like Kanye, right? The whole Kanye thing. So I call it the Kanye deception. We have a song about it. It's actually a really, really good song. It's one of our better ones, actually. You should go check it out. The Kanye deception. But it's so in November of 2022, Israel put Netanyahu, Bezalel Smotrich, Itmar Ben-Gvir, Avi Moaz, and a whole bunch of other the acknowledged, admitted most supremacist coalition to openly run Israel. Like they were talking about it. It wasn't a secret by any means that this was a supremacy coalition. These people wanted Israel supremacy. They ran on the platform that they would take back the West Bank. Like, this is not what's happening now is no surprise. In fact, it was so obvious that in April of 2023, I said if Israel doesn't do the false flag into genocide thing by December of 2023, that I would quit. That I would quit making videos, I would quit doing all this shit. And I've never made that sort of prediction like that before. This was a one-time thing. And not only was I right, I was way right. Like I gave them an extra 2 months. You know. After they did the visa waiver program, I was like, all right, it's coming for sure. Look, it's coming. And I thought it would they would at least give it a couple of months to let the Israelis escape here. But instead, it was 7 days later. They signed the visa waiver program. They put Israel into the visa waiver program on September 30th. And October 7th, they initiated the false flag operation where no Israelis died or were taken hostage and started the genocide. So in 2022, when they put Netanyahu in, it was just like one of those pieces, one piece to the puzzle that made the rest of it, They put Netanyahu's supremacist coalition in. They bought 42,000 slaves from India, supervised laborers from India, 38,000 earmarked for construction, the other 4,000 earmarked for elderly care, since even they don't like taking care of their own elderly. There was all these things that just kept happening that were, the fake protests, the idea that in protest, the Israeli citizens who are reservists, because at 18 they're required to do a small bit in the military, so they're technically all reservists. They're one way of protesting. The only thing they did as far as protesting was to sign a pledge saying that if some shit pops off, if there's some sort of conflict where, a genocide takes place or a war happens, whatever, that they won't, if they get called up, they'll refuse to desertion. It's a crime. If you're a reservist, you get called up and you don't show up, it's a crime. But their only way of protesting was to say that just in case something weird were to pop off, like in October 7th, we won't fight in it. I mean, again, it's all just so obvious how it all worked out. But in 2022, when they were really starting to put the final pieces in place by putting Netanyahu back in charge for he was the 6th prime minister in just under 3 years, or in just under 4 years, so in 3 years. It was Netanyahu, then it was Benny Gantz, defense minister Benny Gantz, then it was Netanyahu again, then it was this guy, Naftali Bennett, that I showed you earlier, the guy that admitted to controlling Wikipedia. Then Naftali Bennett just steps down in June of 2023. Like no election, no nothing. He just steps down as prime minister, and a guy called Yair Lapid, who has been an agent, a talking head for Israel for decades. Yair Lapid steps in, and he's then prime minister until the November election that put Netanyahu in place. Well, at the same time, the illegal, Netanyahu, this man under indictment who's pledging to change the laws so that his indictment doesn't exist anymore, so that not erase the indictment, but erase the ability to charge those in his position with those crimes, so that the indictment is null and void to begin with. The exact same thing that Trump has been doing. And if you ever want to know what's going to happen here in the States, just read Israeli news, because what they do there, they then do here. It's actually kind of crazy how the parallels between the two. But as they were putting Netanyahu in charge, all of a sudden the world is told to give a shit about what Kanye West has to say. None of you follow Kanye West. Nobody was looking at his tweets going, what's DEFCON 3 all about? I wonder what he means. And his whole, what he said was that black people are Semitic, so he can't be Semitic because he can't be anti-Semitic because that refers to all of those people of the region. The Jays aren't the only Semitic people. They're not even Semitic. A new study just came out, said 95% of Israelis don't have Semitic DNA. They're from Ukraine. They're from Europe. They're from the United States. That's why they don't look like the brown people from that region. I mean, it's very, very obvious. But Kanye said, I can say those things. I am Semitic. That's one. He made the thinly veiled threat. I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jays. So he threatened them, even though it's, what the fuck is DEFCON 3? Definitely a con 3. It's his third big con behind the George Bush doesn't like black people and the Taylor Swift thing. Operation, his third mission, DEFCON 3. But he says, he makes the threat. He says he can say what he wants. I'm Semitic. I can say anti-Semitic things. He says that. And he lets in everybody in Hollywood, everybody in the entertainment industry has Jays in their contracts. Jays make money off of everyone. Nobody that exists in Hollywood isn't paying Jays in one way or another. So he let you in on a little bit of the secret. That's literally all he said. And then when given a second chance to say something, when interviewed for the second time, he doesn't out any Jays. He talks about black people. LeBron, Michael Jordan, Shaq, all the people we already know. Jay-Z and Beyonce. He literally tells no secrets. And he just throws black people under the bus. Didn't out a single Jay. But his job was to distract. while they were putting in this horrendous coalition that bragged that they were going to do what's happening right now. That was they never hid it. It was never like this. It's not like this is any bit of a surprise. The J media told you to give a shit about Kanye so you would see the example. And Kanye was the example for someone like me, right? For someone like me who feels like I can talk about things, who does the feed where I talk about things. Kanye's my example. Look what he lost $2 billion overnight. If they can do that to Kanye, what can they do to you, stupid Goyim? They brought Kyrie into it. Kyrie shared a link. He didn't say, hey, go check this out. This is awesome. Hey, check that. This is crazy. You know, look what these Jays did. Blah, blah. He just shared a link. That's all he did was share a link. And he got in a shit ton of trouble. Got suspended for like 8 games. And this dude is, you know, he makes them money. He's one of the top basketball players in the league at the time. He also happens to be the guy that was opposing COVID. But he's suspended a bunch of games. He's made to apologize. He does. So he's the example for you guys. If I say, you know, share my shit, you know, like, sub, share, like you should have been doing already. But like, sub, share, and you share my shit, he's the example to you. Look what happened to this rich, powerful guy who actually makes money directly for them and you know, is part of the system. Look what we did to him for sharing a link. I always tell you, if you're scared, share it with the heading, this guy's crazy, come tell him he's crazy. If you need to, I don't care. But I would have never known about this video, this from Hebrew to Negro, that's what it's called, and it's about how black people are the actual original Jews, and there was some sort of transfer bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But I would have never heard about this video had the media not told me to look what Kyrie did. Kyrie shared this video, this link. Kyrie shared this. And eventually I was like, I wonder what that video was. And I went and I looked. Otherwise, I would have never, ever heard about that shit. I don't follow Kanye West. I would have never known what Kanye West supposedly said had I not been told by the media to, oh my God, did you see what Kanye said? Kanye said and done a lot of shit. You know, Kanye said some really, you know, controversial shit since then. Have you guys been, you know, told to focus solely on this? Not, you know, nothing else is important. Have you heard about any of that? Do they focus on Kanye whenever he's literally like breaking down the J stuff? Nope, you don't get told to go look at any of that. You just got told to go look at him during the time when they're setting up the switch. Whatever is happening, they're getting it going. And at the same time, not only are they distracting you from what they're doing, they're providing you with the warnings for what's to come. There's a lot of crazy shit to come. You better not think you're Semitic and you can talk about it. You better not acknowledge the conspiracy, and you better not make any threats. Because if you do, I mean, he lost $2 billion. He lost a bunch of millions of dollars and had his name dragged to the dirt and blah, blah, blah. What do you think we can do to you? If we could do that to them, what do you think we can do to you? And just in case you missed it all, Dave Chappelle just happened to be scheduled to be the host for Saturday Night Live that week. And I highly suggest you go watch that monologue. And remember that Dave didn't just go out there and say shit that wasn't pre-approved. He had to do his monologue for the you know, all the rank and file that make that show happen, Lauren Michaels and whoever else, Dave had to do the monologue for them first. And Dave comes out with a piece of paper. He reads a little note that says, like a hostage note. It's literally like a hostage note. And he says, you know, I just want to let everybody know that I fully support the J people and I have lots of J friends, and please don't take my money too. And then he proceeds to start going into it. And the first thing he says is, you know, I've been in Hollywood for a really long time. And there are two words that I've learned you should never say with each other, and anything good comes out of it. And that is the and J's. And everybody laughs. Everybody laughs at all the stuff he says, you know, letting us know that there are rules. We are to follow these rules. We are not to speak against he says, you know, several times, like, you know, I can see how somebody would think that way. You know, he says at one point, he says, you know, I've been in Hollywood for 30 years, and let me tell you, it's a lot of Jews. Like, a lot. And he says, I can see how somebody could take a bunch of these pieces that are really obvious and put them together and come up with this idea that there's some sort of conspiracy, but you should never say it out loud. He's acknowledging that it exists, but he's just telling us, even if you see it, don't say it. And they did all of this the exact same time they were putting Netanyahu in charge. They were putting Netanyahu in charge and his supremacist coalition. Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich are both like convicted war criminals. They've done prison time for inciting violence against Arabs and shit like that. Itamar Ben-Gvir is he's literally one of the worst people of all time. Like, there's a video, I forget what the Israeli prime minister's name who was shot. I don't care enough about them to have remembered it. And I'm sure if I hear it again, I'll remember it. But there was a Israeli prime minister that was shot. He was killed. And a week before he was killed, there's a video of Itamar Ben-Gvir bragging. He has the hood ornament from dude's Cadillac in his hand, and he's laughing and he's saying, look, if we got his hood ornament, we could have gotten him there. If we can get his hood ornament, we can get him. And a week later, the dude's dead. This is the dude that shook hands with Arafat, and the first examples of a peace between Israel and Iran. And he was dead a week later. Right? It's just fucking nuts. It just couldn't be any more obvious. Anyway, back to Alex Jones. A longtime critic of Republican and Democratic foreign and security policy, Jones supported Donald Trump's 2016 presidential bid and continued to support him as a savior from the alleged criminal bipartisan cabal controlling the federal government, despite also falling out with Trump over several of his policies, including airstrikes against the Assad regime. I mean, again, I don't understand why Alex Jones gets a pass anymore. It's not like all this stuff that's coming out about Trump is new. And if he was this guy that had his ear to the ground and had all these special connections and all that, how did he not know about all this stuff? A staunch supporter of Trump's re-election, Jones also supported the attempts to overturn the 2020 United States presidential election. On January 6th, 2021, Jones was a speaker at the rally in Lafayette Square Park supporting Trump, preceding the latter's supporters' attack on the U.S. Capitol. You know, all those guys that never, like, they didn't get arrested. The whole attack on the Capitol thing is crazy. If you watch the video, so imagine if it was black people won. Do you think there wouldn't have been a bunch of police shooting at them. Like that there was no response by the military. This is a group of people attacking a government installation in Washington, D.C., and there wasn't an immediate military response? How? Like, just how? You know, the things that they want you to believe, these stories that end up happening, that they orchestrate to happen. It's strange how they always paint us in just the most, like how October 7th. October 7th paints Israel in the weakest light possible. They couldn't be more weak than they were on October 7th. And yet, you know, we're supposed to think that they're this super duper superpower. Well, then why did October 7th happen? How did 9/11 happen? If we're some super duper superpower, how did 9/11 happen? And 9/11 is its own fucking, just, it's such an obvious conspiracy. Like, the only thing that's 100% obvious is that the narrative we're given is false. You know, everything else that they tell us, and all the narrative, it's just so fucking stupid. And it's all been so, like, it's been so radically debunked, and so just, and it makes you wonder, like, why hasn't the government done an official debunk video of the debunk? They know that a lot of us don't believe the narrative we're given, so why don't they show us that, you know, how we're wrong, what we're wrong about. Don't just tell us we're not allowed to talk about it. Tell us what we're getting wrong so we don't continue thinking that way. God bless Israel. Says a pedophile. We have a pedophile here, folks. We have not sure is a pedophile, clearly. On October 22nd, or in October 2022, for Jones' defamatory falsehoods about the Handy Sook shooting, juries in Connecticut and Texas awarded a total of $1.4 billion in damages, actually 1.487 billion in damages from Jones to a first responder and families of victims. The plaintiffs allege that Jones' lies led to them being threatened and harassed for years. On December 2nd, 2022, Jones filed for personal bankruptcy. I mean, seriously. The whole notion that Handy Sook families were threatened and all that, it's just bullshit. It's all just bullshit. You know, and again, why doesn't the government put out a video debunking we need to talk about Handy Sook? Why don't they embrace these challenges instead of, you know, like, they're making it seem like you're a bad person if you ask questions. You show us something, it doesn't quite jive. Like, we see it and we go, that don't make no sense. And instead of going, oh no, here, let me explain to you why it does make sense, the system goes, you can't talk about that. The system, you know, perpetuates, fosters the idea that there's a conspiracy by telling you you can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. Why don't they just debunk it? Why don't they just, it should be obvious, right? All right, early life and influences. Alexander Emmerich Jones was born on February 11th, 1974 in Dallas, Texas, and was raised in Rockwell, 25 miles east of Dallas. His father was a dentist from Austin, and his mother was a homemaker. He says he has English, German, Scottish, and Irish descent. That's a weird way to put that. Instead of just saying he has these, they're saying he says that. Remember, we can't edit this. Only they can edit this. Only Israel has control over what this page says. For those that are questioning why I say that, maybe you haven't been here the whole time. Let's just refresh your memory here. This is the IsraelNationalNews.com.
Moetzet Yesha, in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged Instruction Day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to learn.
Okay, so that again is Naftali Bennett, former Israeli prime minister. That was taken in 2010, so he's a future prime minister of Israel then. He's just an Israeli Mossad agent at that point. Who is acknowledging that they control what the editors, how the editors edit things so that it has a Zionist perspective. When we look stuff up, they want to be there. They want to influence what we read. He flat out says it. So when you start crying that my source isn't okay because it's Wikipedia, understand, I don't think Wikipedia is 100% true. I just know that Wikipedia is the source they want us to use, right? You fall for propaganda. Look at how desperate that is. What propaganda am I falling for here? Please, by anybody that can, explain to me what's wrong with that video. That video is IsraeliNationalNews.com. It's Naftali Bennett, the prime minister, and he's bragging about controlling Israel or controlling Wikipedia. You tell me what propagandist put out that video that it's not true. The source is made up by looking at you. You can tell that the source is made up by looking at me. The video that I just showed you, that was IsraeliNationalNews.com. That's I made that up. And then being here at Wikipedia, where they admit to controlling it, that's going to be a problem too, huh? Yeah, I mean, and again, this page is locked, so there is no Goyim can edit this shit. It's only edited by Israel. At the point where the page is locked, that removes all your arguments. That then you go, okay, well then who does edit it if it's locked? Well, Israel. They tell the wiki editors exactly what to say. I'd love to hear some sort of explanation here as to what I'm getting wrong. Look at, now we're going to change the subject. The guy that says, he's made up. Now he's going to be, let's talk about flat earth. Anything but talk about what's actually on the table here. Have you viewed the discussion page? Is this Wikipedia, the discussion page? I'm reading the information that they want us to have. I'm doing the simplest way possible, the way that any other person can go look for themselves. There's no secret sources. There's no digging to find it. This is the flat out narrative. This is what they want us to know. Whether it's true or not is a secondary issue. This is the narrative that they want us to know. And again, they, meaning Israel, They acknowledge it. They brag about it. If you show me something else, if you show me another video where a prime minister or a president or a leader of another country openly acknowledges they control Wikipedia, you may have an argument there. Whenever Wikipedia is locked, there's a discussion page that determines which edits get through. Okay, if it's locked, then no edits can happen. So what are you talking about? It's not about which edits get through. It's locked. It can definitely be edited from their side, but there are no edits that come from us. But again, you want to get into some sort of bullshit, blah, 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 that I'm not even talking about. All I'm saying is this is the narrative that they want us to know. This isn't some, like, even on the pages that you can edit, if you edit it, it might appear that way for a minute or two, maybe even an hour. But that edit triggers the actual real people at the headquarters who then check your edit. And if it doesn't fit the narrative, they don't let it through. Nobody can just make, dumbass edits and it stays that way. And you know how you know this? This is the best example of this, right? If anybody could just edit Wikipedia, they could wreck Wikipedia, right? Because all you would have to do is go to the page and delete everything. Click the edit, select all and then click delete and then save the edit. And if that was how it stuck, there was no policing of it, there was no, there was no Israeli interference or just, higher up interference, then Wikipedia could just be destroyed. The havoc that could be wreaked is beyond measure. They wouldn't be able to keep up with it. People could just go in there and just start deleting page after page after page. And what would they do? They'd have to rewrite it all and all that? No. You have to be stupid to believe that this is how this would work. That they would allow this to happen as a business model. They can't. So every single edit that gets made on Wikipedia goes through a system, goes through a filtration system. But this page can't be edited by us. So that argument is moot here. It doesn't even matter. And I know we're going to have to do a quick sidebar here, because if you're wondering, like, how can anybody be so stupid, like the people in the comments who can't seem to focus on what's being said, or who are trying to get you to not believe what I'm saying because, oh, this isn't that, or but the people that are supposedly here in a negative position, the people that came to the guy's page who openly says we should kill pedos, stop genocide, and eliminate the J control scheme. The people that are here to oppose me, right? Team Jorge, and this is actually minor. Like this, I highly suggest you actually look up Team Jorge Israel in your Google machine and read the articles that are associated. This Wikipedia summary is mild in comparison to what it actually is. But Team Jorge is the name given to an outfit of Israeli contractors specialized in the use of malign cyber activities. Here, how about this? The people that are here every single day absolutely 100% know that I'm going to read this Wikipedia page every single day. Right? Every single day I'm going to read this page. And this page is actually one that can be edited. For now. They know I'm going to read this page. Why don't they edit it to say, Guy Williams is stupid, Guy Williams this. I know they've said they've done it before. And by the time I got to the page, the edit wasn't there. But if they can edit anything they want, and it just sticks that way. Why don't they edit this Team Jorge page that they know I'm going to read every time? With malign cyber activities including hacking, sabotage, and bot farm run social media disinformation campaigns to manipulate the outcomes of elections. So I know you're real smart here, right? And you understand that if they can manipulate the outcome of an election, they can probably fuck with some random dude's YouTube channel, don't you think? One of the organization's primary tools is a software package called AIMS, or Advanced Impact Media Solutions. The group was exposed in February, lots of Februaries when it comes to this, 2023. And especially like February 2023, there was a lot went on in that fucking month. Pretty crazy how it all just happened to work out that way. After an award-winning undercover operation by journalists from Israel and France as part of a consortium of investigative journalists coordinated by Forbidden Stories, which was actually journalists from all over the place. United States, multiple countries had journalists involved in this. The United States was one of them. The organization has been active since at least 2015 and boasts of having manipulated 33, gotta love that 33 thrown in there, presidential elections worldwide, many of them in Africa, many being 4 or more, and in 27 cases with successful results. Of course, if you look up the results, you know, their supposed results, they only show you the times where they fucked up. They only talk about the times where they weren't successful, for some strange reason. We're not done yet. We're just hanging out. Their activities were revealed following a 2022 sting operation in Tel Aviv, carried out by 3 undercover journalists who posed as prospective clients and filmed their interactions with Tal, T-A-L, Hanan, H-A-N-A-N. The group's leader and former Israeli Special Forces operative, in which he explained the inner workings of the organization. Hanan says Team Jorge has existed for more than 2 decades and has engaged in propaganda and disinformation activities in more than 30 countries. However, they're going to repeat so it stays with you. Its first documented activity dates back to 2015, just before, I don't know, when Trump lost the election by 2.7 million votes, and you're told Russia interfered somehow to get Trump to win, but they don't really, there's not really a bunch of like evidence or proof for any of that. They just say that's what happened. When in reality, the AIPAC-controlled Electoral College interfered with the election, said that the person that got the most votes didn't win, and put their guy in charge anyway. There's only 3 times that that's happened where the Electoral College overrode the popular vote in modern history. The first 2 were George Bush Jr.'s wins, and the 3rd time is when Trump won the first time. That apex swamp that he said he was going to drain is who put him in office anyway. And Trumpansies love to not talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't like that part. But when it comes to interference in the 2016 election, it's pretty obvious. It's provable that Israel did it. But you're supposed to believe that Russia interfered and failed. They failed in their efforts. If Trump won by a landslide and it was weird, then you could say there was some, but Trump lost. So their efforts were in vain. Their services have been available to government intelligence agencies, political campaigns, and private companies that wish to covertly manipulate public opinion. Look at me, I'm making all this up, right? One of the organization's primary tools is a software package called Advanced Impact Media Solutions, or AIMS. This software automates centralized control of thousands of fake social media profiles on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Telegram, TikTok, and others like YouTube. YouTube is actually mentioned when you look into the articles. And they have 30,000. Their networks can create bots up to, in 2022, they could create up to 30,000 bots at any given time for any given. But that's not it. That's not where it ends. That's the funny part. So if you look up act.il, you'll actually find a page that's locked. So there is no adjusting this page. But act.il was a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content, such as the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement, BDS. Its activities were referred to as an, quote, online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room for pro-Israel experts. Act.il, now pay attention, directed its users to, quote, missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided on how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. Why do you think they all say the same things? It's schizophrenia. Birds aren't real. Whatever dumb shit that they can come up with, but they all say the same dumb things. Because they're given these talking points to say. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. They got prizes for it. Prizes, acknowledgement for doing what's happening in my feed right now. If you look at the comments on my video, it's exactly the same thing. These random profiles that have supposedly been subscribed for years and have 2, 3, 0 subscribers, who, you know, the stated goal here is that we kill pedos and that we stop the genocide and overthrow the the J control scheme that dominates our lives. The APACs, the ADLs, the shit like that. I always ask, who is going to oppose me on that? And yet you see a bunch of these fake profiles that come in here, say the same dumb things, don't acknowledge, hell yeah, we should kill pedos. Hell yeah, we should stop genocide. Nothing like that. Just people trying to interfere, tell me I should stop doing what I'm doing, trying to shoot the messenger, make me look crazy. I'm literally reading you what they want us to know. And still, that's just not good enough, I guess. Anyway, Alex says he's English, German, Scottish, and Irish descent. I still think that's strange. It's like a little nod. It's those little twists, those little edits and whatnot that you don't see them on anything else. People don't. It's not usually how that works. But this one time they're going to say it that way. Oh, he says he's this, but we're not going to, we're not going to say Alex Jones is this. He just says he is. The family moved to Austin in Jones's second year of high school. He attended Anderson High School, where he played football and graduated in '93. After graduating, Jones briefly attended Austin Community College before dropping out. As a teenager, he read None Dare Call It Conspiracy, a book by by the John Birch Society conspiracy theorist Gary Allen, who alleged global bankers control American politics rather than elected officials. I mean, like, that's not even a conspiracy theory, is it? Who honestly thinks, like, the president sits around at his desk and he crunches the numbers every day so he can get the budget? Who honestly thinks that he sits there and reads all the different options on foreign policy and, has all these meetings and is really just this busy guy drawing up plans for this and that and the other? Who honestly thinks that's what he is? I mean, it's like, are you really that stupid? Look up any presidential, any president, and then look up their direct administration, the people that are around them. Their speechwriters, their coordinators of where they're going, what they eat, what they do. It's always all J's. There's a really famous video of Bill Clinton sitting there looking like a cyborg that's powered down, and somebody's doing his makeup before he gets ready to go live. And he's just sitting there. He's not blinking. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting there like he's dead. And then the camera turns on, or is about to turn on, and he comes to life. It's so strange. I can't understand why anybody thinks the president actually does something. Like the president does a job that you couldn't do. How many of you think if you got put in that position, you couldn't handle that workload that he has every day? It would be just so much work. The president is just a company man. He just got the lead role. The governmental play that runs every 4 years where he's the top puppet. He's just the majority of the time he's learning his lines. He's not fucking crunching government numbers and shit. And literally when it comes to Trump, like, he's not. He's dumb. That dude is fucking dumb. That's the dude that suggested we shoot up with bleach. We should, give people shots of bleach to be able to cure COVID. Like, he's a piece of shit. Look at this person keeps talking about, oh, that's a lie. No, it's not a lie. No, it's a pretty common, easily found video.
Just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through this.
All right, but that's him talking about it.
Stunned reaction today to the president's jaw-dropping suggestions on how to combat COVID-19.
I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside?
It may sound crazy, but obviously people...
Why aren't they showing the actual video where he says it?
Light. We're also testing disinfectants readily available. We've tested bleach. We've tested isopropyl alcohol on the virus, specifically in saliva or in respiratory fluids. And I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds. And that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, just spraying it on and leaving it go. You rub it and it goes away even faster. We're also looking at other disinfectants.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way.
In some other
I
way.
think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting.
He's suggesting that
the
he
disinfectant,
came him up with it.
where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost?
It's weird that I can't find the actual thing where he says it to Dr. Birx. It's really weird. But everybody that talks about it, everybody's just wrong. Everybody's wrong. It's the same thing with Alex Jones. Like, why Trump? Why is there still a Trump supporter here? At the very, very least, the whole Israel stuff and you're an America First Trump supporter, and you don't acknowledge the Israel stuff. Like, it's just insane. But with all this Epstein shit that's come out, or isn't coming out, and the way that he's reacting like somebody that is 100% guilty. It really wouldn't matter. Like, if he was truly doing good things for the country, which he's not. Unemployment's up and all this other shit. Like, it's actually not what he tries to say it is. Unrest is as high as it's been in a long, long time. But there's this whole Epstein thing that's happening. And you're just like, again, even if he was doing all this good shit, if you find out the Epstein thing is happening, hello, why are you still, how do you still support this fucking guy? All right, looks like we have to reset since we're down to 1 again. So let's reset. Like always, you pedophiles, kill yourself.